Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely flip the script on how we view schooling, learning, and just human development in general. Seriously, we are going to fundamentally shift your perspective on education. We're moving away from seeing it as this transactional chore, just something you have to get through, and start looking at it as a profound tool for personal empowerment and societal change. We're going to see exactly why education is literally the single most important factor in developing a complete, capable, and highly effective human being. Okay, let's dive right into this.
So why are you writing? I mean, if you've ever sat in a classroom just staring blankly at a blinking cursor on a screen, you've definitely asked yourself this question. As clinical psychologist Jordan Peterson provocatively points out in our source material, students are rarely ever told the real reason they're forced to write essays or complete these incredibly difficult assignments. You're usually just told, well, you need to do this to get a good grade. But man, that completely misses the mark. You aren't writing just to satisfy a teacher. You are writing to forge your own mind.
All right, let's look at Section 1. More than just grades, the true purpose.
There is the stark contrast between what society tells us education is for and what it actually does for a human being. We really have to contrast the expected goals, like simply getting a passing grade or eventually landing a comfortable job, with the actual reality. According to our sources, the real goal of education is teaching you how to think, how to solve incredibly complex problems, and how to make wise decisions in what is often a chaotic world. It's all about learning to act effectively. When you truly know how to think, you possess the capacity to wield genuine influence.
Moving right along to Section 2, the power to think, equipping your mind.
Jordan Peterson makes a really provocative point here. He says, if you can think, speak, and write, you become absolutely deadly. And he doesn't mean that in some malevolent or violent way, right? He means it in terms of extreme competence and formidable capability. Actually, formulating your arguments coherently transforms your mind into a literal weapon. He points out that the most staggeringly successful people are the ones who have mastered this. If you have your points organized, it ensures that when you face off against successful individuals or you engage in a high-stakes debate, you aren't just slashed into pieces intellectually. You can actually hold your ground, articulate your vision, and win the battles you undertake for the good things in life.
So let's look at the tangible outcomes of this. The crucial takeaway here is that this isn't just some abstract philosophy, it yields highly practical results for human beings in the real world. When your points are clearly organized, you can speak effectively to people and lay out a solid, convincing proposal. Peterson emphasizes that when you can do this, people are eager to give you money, they'll throw amazing opportunities your way, and you gain true influence. The alternative, as he bluntly puts it, is looking like an absolute idiot and getting nowhere. Organized thinking is essentially the bridge between having a great idea and actually manifesting it in reality.
Which brings us to Section 3, shaping character and finding freedom.
Our source material reminds us that an educated person shouldn't just be a hyper-intelligent machine. True education instills these essential pillars of character: honesty, respect, responsibility, kindness, and discipline. Developing a complete human being isn't just about a razor-sharp intellect. It is fundamentally about cultivating a good character. Because, let's be honest, knowledge without these traits is totally hollow. True education harmonizes your intellect with your humanity, making you a much better, more grounded person.
And here's a deeply profound benefit that we honestly overlook all the time. By understanding the world around us, education actually grants us freedom. How? Because we become so much less likely to be deceived by false information. When you know how to think critically, you learn to evaluate situations carefully before jumping to conclusions or making decisions. You aren't easily manipulated by bad actors or crazy false narratives. This kind of intellectual independence builds tremendous self-confidence and leaves you way better equipped to help others navigate a confusing world.
Now, this pursuit of deep understanding isn't some brand new modern invention. It actually has deep, deep roots in historical and religious texts. The Architect of Destiny speech highlights the Christian Bible, specifically Proverbs 4:7, which emphasizes wisdom as a paramount goal. It frames the whole pursuit of knowledge and wisdom not as this selfish endeavor, but as a calling, a way to grow so that we can better serve others, and in that specific context, serve God effectively. The ultimate aim of a well-educated human being is to use their refined mind and character for a much higher purpose.
Let's jump to Section 4, lifelong learning, a never-ending journey.
This transformative process of the human mind, it doesn't just abruptly stop the moment you receive a diploma or cross the stage or walk out of a classroom for the last time. Now, we've got to acknowledge reality here. Getting this kind of education is rarely ever easy. As the Architect of Destiny speech outlines, students globally face severe, life-altering challenges. We are talking about crippling financial problems, the total exhaustion of working a full-time job while trying to study, living in areas with incredibly limited access to schools, or even facing devastating disruptions from war and conflict. But the source material is adamant. Even with these massive hurdles, education is absolutely worth pursuing. Every single lesson you learn, despite the struggle, is a vital, irreplaceable investment in your future.
Because it is an ongoing journey, we have to actively cultivate the daily habits of a lifelong learner. Young or old, it doesn't matter. The mandate is exactly the same. You must continually read books, boldly ask questions, listen to those with real experience, and, this is a big one, actively learn from your inevitable mistakes every single day of your life. Every day is a fresh opportunity for human growth. Education isn't a destination you just arrive at. It's a permanent state of travel.
Finally, Section 5, the ripple effect, creating global change.
This right here is the true macro scale of what we're talking about today. It all starts with just one person. Education can completely change one person's life. But think about it. That one educated person then changes their family. That one educated family elevates an entire community. And ultimately, that one educated community has the power to transform an entire nation. The intellectual and moral development of a single human being is literally the catalyst for global change. It's a massive ripple effect.
So the next time you face a seemingly pointless assignment or you have the chance to learn a challenging new skill, ask yourself this: how will you use your education today? Remember that you aren't just jumping through bureaucratic hoops. You are sharpening a weapon, you're building your character, and you're stepping into your potential as a fully realized human being. Never forget the true power you hold in your hands. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next explainer.